everybody, Nanelly here. Thank you for tuning in. I am going to show you a deck profile today for probably one of my favorite decks I've ever built. It's a budget deck, which I am usually not really the best at because I get intimidated when I don't have a Pokemon out there that's super hard hitting, but I managed to find a budget Pokemon that can be extremely hard hitting. So we're going to dive in. We're going to start with the Pokemon. There's a little bit of an explanation with the Pokemon, just to kind of let you guys know how the deck is going to run. So first we start with 4 copies of Honchcrow. Now, a lot of you watching the video probably already know where I'm going with this, but bear with me. I added my own little twist to it. So Honchcrow does Whirlwind for 10 damage. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. I've never used that, but there might be a time where it comes in handy. As much of a sniping deck as this is, it is really nice to have Guzmas and things like that to get the appropriate active out that you really want to just hammer. Then we have 4 copies of Honchcrow. Honchcrow, he's rude. It's 110 HP, which it's not my favorite, but I've realized that it doesn't really matter because I can manipulate the game and get Honchcrow out right when I need him, and even if he only lasts 1 turn, he did his damage. His first attack is Feint Attack for 1 Dark Energy. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's not affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on that Pokemon. So we're sniping right off the bat, which really helps. So if I have to get Honchcrow out and I'm not just going to one-shot something, I probably use Feint Attack first to get a little bit of extra damage just to ensure that one-shot. Then we have Raven's Claw. At first glance, it doesn't look like much. It's a double colorless energy cost and then the 10 plus, right? This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. So looking at the card in general, you think, okay, you do Feint Attack maybe like once or twice. As long as Honchcrow will last, you have 60 damage, and then you hit Raven's Claw, so you're hitting for 70. Not quite. So Honchcrow is not exactly going to be in play for the majority of the game. Honchcrow it's designed for him to come in middle to late game. The guy I really want to get out is Tapu Koko. Flying Flip. Double colorless, this attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. A lot of people I've faced with this deck don't really know what's coming. They load up their bench and Koko just comes out and mollywops. It's just, mind is blown. It's terrible. And then by the time, Tapu Koko is gone, he's attacked maybe, we'll say 3 times. Honchcrow comes out, he's hitting for almost 300 damage. It's insane. It's insane. I'm so proud of this deck, and I really hope that with my super awesome new playmat that Baxter got me for Christmas, and this deck, I hope I have a chance at this Sunday Showdown. And for any of you that have watched all of our Sunday Showdowns, my side of the scoreboard is looking really sad right now. So we're going to try and fix that. The next Pokemon I have is Monkameron, my Oranguru. For Instruct, once during your turn you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. I don't really build any decks without Oranguru. He's just such a good bench Pokemon to have. My next secret threat is Sableye. Limitation. For 1 Dark Energy, your opponent can't play any supporter cards from their hand during their turn. I like to run this guy with Noivern, and I figured, hey, why not? He'll help me out with my Honchcrow deck. Sometimes it takes me a few turns, obviously, to get that damage scattered the way that I needed it to be. So Sableye buys me that time with limitation, so the opponent can't use any supporters, they can't end, they can't restart their hand, they kind of get stuck. The last Pokemon I have is Alolan Vulpix. Just for Beacon, search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So we have a couple of different options to start with because we really don't want to start with Murkrow. Moving on, I have truly built the deck around my Pokemon. A lot of my decks, I kind of pick some general supporters and items that just help a deck in general, like energy and things like that, but this one is really designed to emphasize Honchcrow's abilities. So obviously I'm running 2 stadiums. Well, I'm running 3 total, but these 2 are Reverse Valley, and I only run it this way because it allows my dark Pokemon to do 10 more damage. It just makes Honchcrow that much more annoying. It's great. And I'm running 1 copy of Altar of the Moon. For any, well, psychic or dark energy attached to the Pokemon, their retreat cost is 2 colorless less. Or 2, I don't know, what is that? Is that colorless or stars? I don't know. 2 costs less. So that's great. Usually I have Coco out, free retreat, but then Sableye, Honchcrow, they only have a 1 retreat cost, so it's just really nice since I'm not depending on having a ton of energy out on the board to not have to waste it. So that comes in handy. Right, we're running 2 copies of Professor's Letter. Allows me to go into my deck and get 2 basic energy out and put them in my hand. Another card that's kind of new for me to use is Multi-Switch. This card allows you to move an energy from one of your benched Pokemon to your active. And energy. That means I can move a DCE around, which is beautiful because once Tapu Koko is done doing his damage, pull him back and multi-switch the DCE onto Honchcrow and didn't have to waste any additional energy. I was inspired to use multi-switch by Baxter, and it's hopefully going to backfire on him. Alright, I'm running 3 copies of Ultra Ball, self-explanatory. Certain points of the game, you need certain players, and that allows me to do so. This is also crucial. 2 copies of Rescue Stretcher. I don't know what I would do without Rescue Stretcher. We played our expanded match with our Mega Decks. It was epic, but we weren't allowed to use anything from Sun and Moon and beyond, and this was the hardest card to let go. I love Brock's Grit, which kind of allows you to do the same thing. You can get 6 in any combination of basic Pokemon and energy, I think. But it's just not the same because it goes into your deck. But Rescue Stretcher lets you put a Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. So that's immediate access. It's great. Also running 1 copy of Special Charge. Running 4 DCEs just because you saw with the multi-switch and everything how important it is to have that out. So we need to be able to get them back. Now, I'm getting into, there's kind of a few one-off items in here, but I didn't change anything because this deck has been so successful. Even though I don't like one-off trainers, it's been working. So we're just going to not fix it if it's not broken. So we have 1 copy of Max Potion, which has helped me in a lot of binds because I only run a couple energy. I have a lot of basic dark energy floating around in the deck too, so even if I have to get rid of them, they'll come back. 1 copy of Fighting Fury Belt to save my Coco, just in case things don't work out and my Coco's in danger. I can get that extra 40 HP to hopefully leave him out there for another turn. Every turn counts with that Coco. And it also lets me hit for 10 more damage to the active Pokemon, so that's helpful. Every single bit of damage is helpful because you never know when you're going to need that extra 10 for that knockout. We're running 1 copy of Evo Soda. Even though we're running 4 copies of Honchcrow, it does help. Another one that has been an unsuspecting clutch card has been Energy Lotto. So this card, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal an energy card you find there and put it into your hand. Again, Baxter pointed out to me, it's not just basic. if you pick up those 7 cards and you find a DCE, that's yours. It's just amazing. They've found ways for you to access those DCEs so much faster, and it helps this deck just kill. 1 copy of Energy Retrieval for some of those basics. Most of my bait for my Ultra Balls is going to be energy, just because that's really the only thing I can afford to give up in this deck. And last for the items is bodybuilding dumbbells. Usually Honchcrow is a one-hit it quit it, but if it's not, dumbbells allows it to stay out for hopefully 1 more turn at least. Alright, let's get into our supporters. These are, I've had so much fun with this deck. I'm really excited to run it for you guys so you can see why I'm so excited about it. I have 1 copy of Bridget, totally broken. Search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX or 3 basic Pokemon. So, I mean, if you're running a deck with GX, you can get 3 basic GX Pokemon. It doesn't say anything about GX. But it helps out a lot with this deck. Usually when I'm not, I converted this deck into a budget deck, but I've been running it online with Necrozma, and you guys can imagine, I mean, I put Necrozma out, I hit that GX move, and it hits 100 damage to any GX or EX Pokemon on the opponent's side of the board. So that's like 200, 300 damage usually coming out of 1 attack, and then I pull Honchcrow out and I'm hitting for like 300 damage, just maybe possibly even like 3rd turn. It's crazy. I have 1 copy of Lusamine. Put 2 in any combination of supporter and stadium cards from your discard pile into your hand. Surprisingly, it hasn't really saved me very much on the supporter end, but it's definitely got me out of some binds with getting those stadiums back. This is like the only card that I really know of that can get stadiums out of your discard. And you get to put it in your hand, so again, it's that quick retrieval. Alright. And of course, 3 copies of Guzma. Like I said, Honchcrow's a beast no matter what, but sometimes it's just crucial to make sure that the active is just right. Sometimes I like to be a super jerk and pull out an active that has no energy and a high retreat cost, just so I can sit and snipe for a couple turns. Alright, 2 copies of Professor Sycamore. Not everything, I mean, there's a lot of things in this deck I need, so discarding is not my favorite choice, but I get the 7 cards and it really helps. 3 copies of N. I think it's so cool, one of these N's is like darker than the other ones. I'm pretty sure that makes it like a misprint. I like it. Alright. 1 copy of Acerola. Again, it saves the day. And 2 copies of Skyla. Skyla really helps getting those items out when, or items slash tools when you need them right on the spot. Alright, so that's it for the item cards and Pokemon, and now we're going to get into energy. I'm running 4 copies of double colorless. Like I told you guys before, it's crucial. All 4 of them get used, and I like to recycle them too. And 10 copies of basic dark energy. It's not exactly necessary, but I really like to have an excess of energy, so that's one thing I don't have to worry about throughout the game. I like to strategize really hard, so energy is definitely not one of my worries. I'm so excited for you guys to see this deck run. I know that a lot of variations of Honchcrow are out there, but I haven't seen one like this, so I'm pretty proud of myself, and I hope it goes over well. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tune in for this Sunday Showdown. I'm really hoping it's Nanelly's time, guys. We'll see. We'll see you then. Don't forget to like, comment. Let me know if you guys have run Honchcrow and if you've had fun with it. It's super fun. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell when you subscribe. It'll send you notifications right when we post videos, so you'll get to see that Sunday Showdown first thing. So thanks again, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you later.